I was desperate because I was scared.
Like, how the heck am I gonna make it next month?
The world's tough out there right now. So if it wasn't for you, probably wouldn't have got by.
As the pandemic battered the economy and forced millions into unemployment, the state of Florida's ill-equipped and overwhelmed unemployment system failed. The website crashed, thousands of accounts left in a pending status or outright denied with no explanation. In fact, week after week, people waited for checks that never came.
It's just been waiting and waiting and waiting.
I've made over thousands of phone calls, nothing.
I don't know what they want me to do because nobody can tell me anything for 20 weeks.
We saw a state unemployment system that was plagued with technical issues.
Major failure for the state of Florida to have a system that just does not work for anyone.
Thousands of people were being left without the help they were promised from the government, help they so desperately needed.
It's heartbreaking. The government has let so many people down.
It's really stressful.
I feel that I have been left behind.
We have a reputation among our viewers as problem solvers. When they can't get answers anywhere else, they turn to us to get results. So when the system failed them, the volumes of calls, emails we received, it was overwhelming. The need, unprecedented.
I have absolutely no income.
I'm at zero. I don't know what to do.
We had to do something to help. Make Ends Meet will be the new mission we will take on together. We're working with lawmakers in Washington and Florida to make sure you get your benefits and balance your budgets.
The pressure of seeing this on local news, it helped get things moving in Tallahassee.
We bridged the gap between the state services and the people. We made the connection.
10,000 pounds have been lifted off my shoulders.
And it worked.
These benefits saved lives and livelihoods.
You have totally changed our lives right now. You have no idea.
It's nice to know that people care.
It has been quite a journey, but it's not over. For nearly 2 years, Make Ends Meet has been the voice of Florida's unemployed. Now, after hundreds of stories and thousands of calls, this special report will look at where we've been, where we're going. Good evening, I'm Mike Holfeld. Listen, let's start from the beginning. In March 2020, COVID-19 transformed thriving communities into economic retreat. Businesses shut down. Unemployment surged to record numbers. In fact, over the next 11 months, jobless claims in Florida would reach a staggering 5.3 million. A stark comparison to the 4.2 million claims for the previous 8 years combined. The Department of Economic Opportunity suddenly found itself, going from an average of more than 5,000 calls per day, peaking at more than 1.1 million in the spring of 2020. Too many people, not enough resources. Florida's Connect system for the unemployed created a disconnect, an emotional void for people suddenly out of work. Before we get to the system, we need to look at the victims. We've decided to show many of these stories as they first aired, so you can understand how weeks turned into months for people like Ann Shepard.
You don't know me, but I have been sleeping in my lanai since April and rented out my bedroom so that I could pay my bills.
That may be the toughest thing Ann Shepard has ever done. A public admission that her life has come down to a mattress on her back porch.
It's humiliating. It is degrading.
She's a single mom with Iowa roots. Her teenage son is still with her. Her job options scarce at best.
I've sold my car and a friend gave me a vehicle to drive. I mean, come on. Nobody deserves this.
She's gone from caterer to a waitress working part-time at a country club. That receipt there, evidence of the tip from her only customer the day of this interview.
I'm here for $8.50 an hour doing lunches, and I'm making maybe $20 to $30 in tips. This is not enough to live on.
Her survival story is the product of what she calls a DEO system failure. A few hours working with a temp agency created this financial nightmare.
$33 threw off any unemployment.
Her DEO records confirm that return to work status, blocking any path to unemployment benefits.
I don't know what they want me to do because nobody can tell me anything for 20 weeks.
News 6 contacted the DEO to request a review of her status. Her wait is over. The DEO deposited $1,500 into her bank account.
I appreciate this so much. You have no idea.
That was just after the first few months. The state was listening to our stories and reacting. Once people understood we had the DEO's attention, the calls and the pleas for help got louder. Each case different, all centering on the need to make ends meet. We were already helping people get their benefits well before Ann's story aired, and we still are. So far, we've submitted more than 6,000 names, all people turning to us to get the money they deserved. The benefits range from a couple $100s to thousands. Working with the DEO, we've been able to get $2 million in benefits issued to families across the state. One of the highest to date, that name there on the screen, Natalie Hernandez. Look at that. She received $20,000. But you know what? It isn't just about the money. It's what the money does, what it means. Think about it. It's rent, food on the table, a chance for people to feel normal, if just for a moment. One of those people, a retired Marine, found himself in a fight to get unemployment benefits for 10 months.
I haven't seen any back pay. I've called, I don't know, countless times.
He served as a crew chief on an amphibious assault vehicle with the Marines between 1988 and 1991. A veteran turning to the DEO for jobless benefits he should have had months ago.
They said everything's approved and just be patient, but it's been 10 months.
Dave Brulat is living on $16 in food stamps and weekly state jobless benefits of $125 a week that actually kicked in this past October. What's missing? State and federal benefits of more than $11,000 dating back to March 2020. How difficult has it been to make ends meet during all of this?
Luckily, I have a little disability I get from the VA, but I mean, I'm struggling, you know. I don't have a vehicle anymore. I mean, life's been turned upside down.
Our investigation found that Brulat's chase for benefits was actually stalled by a 2008 application that was denied. Fast forward to 2021. His DEO records show he's eligible, his account active, yet the waiting continues. Do you feel like the state has let you down?
Our state has failed. Our state has failed drastically. That's why I've come to you. You were my last hope. I don't know what else to do.
Right after this interview, News 6 presented his case to the DEO for full review. A few days later, Brulat received more than $9,000 in back benefits from the DEO right into his bank account.
It was a great birthday present.
The money arriving on the weekend of his 51st birthday. Did we get results for you?
Yeah, unbelievable results. You guys are unbelievable. It's something I couldn't do in 11 months. You guys got done in 24 hours.
Think about it. A quick fix once News 6 got involved. Yes, because the DEO was working with us. That retired Marine was among the thousands forced to wait months for answers from the state. Again, each case different. The vulnerability, the same.
I'm so, grateful and fortunate to you guys, because if I hadn't emailed you, I'd still be waiting.
Anna Marie Brown, an unemployed grandmother, was another casualty of the system. Unable to collect benefits because of a return to work status, all based on a 5-day training session with the Edgewater Pet Clinic. 5 days. That's it.
It shut my account down. They were investigating the return to work issue.
This questionnaire from the DEO was supposed to provide the key to end her benefits drought. Anna Maria says she filled it out last December and never got a dime. Well, she turned to News 6 and Make Ends Meet for help in July of this year. 4 weeks later,
I went into the DEO and logged in, and it said, there's $8,010.
Anna Maria Brown's DEO account has been updated. In total, she's received more than $8,500 in back benefits. Did News 6 get results for you?
Yes, you definitely got results.
Brown says the system worked because of News 6, and she's grateful to everyone behind the scenes.
It does work when you have people like you that are trying to help people like us, that you give us a voice.
My account is locked.
I have not been able to get into my account.
For the record, your voice is heard even when your story is not featured on Make Ends Meet.
So I emailed you guys.
We're always working behind the scenes.
You submitted my information.
We help this viewer and hundreds more unlock their PIN codes.
Thank you for your help.
Gregory McDonald's account was locked for 3 months.
No access to my benefits.
And we got results. McDonald tells us he received $3,500 in back benefits.
I appreciate that, Mike.
In July alone, Make Ends Meet helped Floridians get more than $100,000 in benefits, a trend that continued month after month.
I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
And as we aired these stories month after month, the problems didn't go away. The issues just kept piling up, along with the lack of benefits. You've seen the victims and the human impact. Next, the investigation into how a well-intentioned system broke down. Welcome back to Make Ends Meet, a News 6 special report. In the middle of 2020, we started getting momentum connecting hardworking people with the state to receive their benefits. The unprecedented partnership was working, but their struggles exposed flaws in what so many called a broken system. We heard that again and again. Well, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis wanted answers. And about a year later, in March 2021, the Office of the Chief Inspector General uncovered a stunning oversight. The state basically didn't know what the system could handle. In the Inspector General's report, they found requirements actually established in 2010 were never tested. The system was supposed to handle a minimum of 200,000 external users at the same time. But documents showed stress testing was done for only 4,200 users. The report saying the Connect system was, quoting now, poorly positioned to handle the unprecedented claims volume. And think about it. The result, well, we've seen it. People in crisis.
They transposed numbers and put him down as working for a company he's never even heard of.
Her son Daniel has worked at Applebee's since 2015.
He sure doesn't work for whoever they typed in.
Had you ever even heard of this company before?
Never. Get a rate? Pay a rate? I don't even know what it is.
I've taken them to the bank and they said, I'm sorry, ma'am, you can't cash these because they had the wrong last name.
5 checks, a total of almost $7,000, her benefits, but no way to cash them.
But will other checks be sent to me in the right name? And they're like, well, we don't know about that.
Were you verified through the ID.me system?
Yes, 7 times.
John Wilkerson was born June 1983, yet his records had him listed as being born last year, June 2020.
The claim that was stopping me from last year is stopping me from this year, but that claim is 2 years old.
Disqualified for months of benefits because of a claim filed in 2019 when he lost his position with Universal Studios.
It feels like they choose not to care.
They gave 2 reasons for my denial, which were the same reasons that they denied me for in 2018, for the same companies that I worked for in 2018. And say, just wait, it'll be just a couple of weeks and you should get your money, and that never happened.
Then I get a letter saying, oh yeah, we may have a problem with your benefits, you may not be eligible.
This letter links her to companies she's never heard of, let alone worked for. Oh, and that Social Security number right there, not quite right.
It just has the last 4 digits on the letter, but those last 4 digits don't match mine. It's off by 1.
She says it's supposed to read 1510, not 1410.
It's just ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Here's the paper that they sent to me showing my wages.
The earnings, according to the DEO, make her eligible for state unemployment benefits.
I clearly, absolutely worked.
Yet in August, the bombshell, all those hours and earnings in this DEO version, gone.
Everything was zeroed out. It was as if my wages in 2019 was non-existent.
They've already collected the $825, but yet it's still pending on the Connect.
Are you telling me right now it's pending, but they've walked off with the money?
Yes, $825. I'm like, that's a lot of money.
And I don't know how it could be messed up anymore, to be honest.
Well, we checked, and it is. Under employer name, the DEO actually lists the condo address, Air BB, 3 variations of her name, and to top it all off, PEUC, fictitious employer.
It's not even a matter of frustration. I'm just worn the heck down.
They said that they have to prove that I wasn't in jail as of the moment.
That's right, jail. The DEO had her listed as incarcerated for an unpaid 2018 traffic citation. As you can see, Victoria Thomas is not in jail anymore.
It's a glitch in their system, I think. That's what they're saying.
It's just one glitch after another.
She's received 8 approval notices from the DEO.
And they all say that you're entitled to benefits.
On October 13th, she logged in twice. Same name, same day, different claim ID, and different status.
It's extremely frustrating. You really do lose sleep over it. You know, it takes a toll on you emotionally.
And then more widespread problems surfaced. A majority of people coming to News 6 faced issues with their return to work status. In other words, quick gig, short-term work. Even job training ended up costing some people. We introduce you to these 2 single moms in February of 2021. Watch.
I just got a letter from them saying congratulations on returning to work, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Meet Alicia Warren, single mom, 3 kids, blocked from her unemployment benefits because she worked 1 week.
The job ended. It was a temporary assignment.
1 paycheck, and her jobless benefits have been on eternal hold, dating back to October.
I only went for orientation training.
Alex Marshall worked 4 days to train with Goodwill. She says she contracted COVID-19 and never worked another day. For now, her hands are full with a 3-month-old and a 4-year-old, and DEO benefits on hold. And you're 20-something weeks behind now?
Yes.
Alicia, how many weeks are you waiting for now?
14 weeks.
Alicia and Alex joined me for a mini town hall session to shed light on an issue that families across the state have been reporting for months. The DEO return to work status has become a financial landmine.
Both of you need that money, right?
Yes.
Since News 6 started working with unemployed workers to track their issues, we've noted more than half reporting no benefits because of a return to work status.
I'm on hold for 2 hours just to hear you'll receive your payments. You have to give it some time. It's very frustrating.
They tell us calling the DEO has become a series of broken promises.
I got promised that mine would be fixed by the following week.
Those broken promises created a financial freefall for unemployed across the state.
All the distress that we're seeing out there isn't only measured in unemployment, it's also going to be measured in consumer debt.
Bankrate.com senior economic analyst Mark Hamrick says while Florida's new jobless claims continue to trend slightly lower, keeping a job could be a challenge heading into 2022.
Not just being employed. It's being employed on a continuing basis and having some reliability of income.
And it's important to point out that while the system initially failed because of the overwhelming numbers, a lot of the system problems persisted even after people got back to work. Here's a look at the Florida unemployment numbers when the pandemic first hit. By April of 2020, the state lost a staggering 1.2 million jobs. By May, the unemployment rate hit a record 14.2%. But then, as the year progressed and into 2021, more people would go back to work. But still, just 3 months ago, with unemployment down less than 5%, the Orlando Ironworkers Union turned to us for help.
We're losing cars and even homes right now as we speak.
He's talking about the members of Ironworkers Local 808, undermined by COVID-19, depleted construction materials, and unemployment benefits never paid.
After January, I would say it started really crumbling and falling apart.
Bobby Nost is the business manager for the union. He reached out to make ends meet via Zoom after seeing an interview segment on The Weekly. We're trying to work with the DEO to expedite this and get these accounts open as quickly as possible.
We don't usually use unemployment.
Nost tells me 75% of the union's rank and file have been unable to collect benefits.
Where's all this money at?
We took our cameras to Local 808's home turf, the Union Hall on Land Street in Orlando. You've not been able to get any money since November of 2020?
2020, yes, sir.
They're among 25 of the hardest hit rank and file members.
It's a constant struggle. They said that they overpaid me sometime in 2017.
What we found was a snapshot of various complaints we've seen over the last year and a half.
Tried to call this morning, they put me on hold for 3 hours.
Wilson Ortiz, a 20-year union man, hasn't worked in 6 months and doesn't have a dime. Have you been able to get any benefits at all?
Nothing.
His DEO records show he collected unemployment benefits between 2009 and 2012 and was actually overpaid. Well, the union says it's not true. These years that they're saying you were collecting unemployment, are you telling me you were working?
Yes.
You think someone stole your identity?
It had to be.
Amzad Khan has a mortgage payment just days away. And the one time you guys need this, it's not there for you? Is that what you feel?
Yes, it's not there for me.
He provided the proof that he's paid into the system, paycheck by paycheck. In fact, they all have.
I need the money. I got to pay bills. Bills rolling in.
And we're already getting results. The union confirming the DEO has issued payment to the first member on the list, more than $1,400 in back unemployment benefits. And the benefits continue to roll in. So far, the Make Ends Meet team has been able to work with the DEO to help 27 union members collect, you ready? More than $100,000 in back unemployment benefits. That's great news. And we're continuing to work with the DEO to make sure every member gets the benefits they're entitled to. But our News 6 investigation would quickly find the system faced another threat. As you just heard, the Ironworkers Union is convinced one of its members had his identity stolen. Next, pandemic fraud, imposters, and cyber thieves. Welcome back. In the past year, we've seen many of the same problems come up again and again for those struggling to collect unemployment benefits. It's been tough. But a new issue is now near the top of the list: pandemic fraud. News 6 forged a unique relationship with the U.S. Secret Service to expose this massive disruption in the unemployment system. With their help, we showed viewers what to watch out for and who the thieves were targeting. It's become so widespread, the Secret Service has appointed a National Pandemic Fraud Recovery Coordinator, the man on the screen there, Special Agent Roy Dotson Jr., based in Jacksonville, Florida. Now, Dotson tells me estimates for stolen unemployment benefits range from $63 to $100 billion. Florida alone saw $2 billion in stolen benefits with a, quote, substantial amount already recovered by federal agents. But the pandemic fraud continues to evolve.
We're going out there and hitting the ground and trying to recover everything we can, whether it's U.S. or state government funds that have been stolen. Secret Service currently has over 1,500 active criminal investigations going on. Now, that's a combination of all types of pandemic benefits, so not just unemployment insurance, but all the other benefit programs too.
Dotson says Florida is one of the top targets for the pandemic fraud schemes, and News 6, the Secret Service, and the state of Florida saw evidence of pandemic fraud early on. As a layer of defense against identity thieves, the DEO brought in a company called ID.me. Let me explain. It's a securities team, screening team, using key personal documents, facial recognition, your phone number, to make sure the person they were talking to was really you.
It really is similar to what, I saw in Iraq when I was fighting against Al-Qaeda.
He's a former Army intelligence specialist, implementing methods used in Iraq to catch and stop unemployment imposters.
In our system, you have to actually have possession of a phone that is tied to that identity and records.
Blake Hall is the CEO of Virginia-based ID.me, already retained in Florida and 20 other states. ID.me is protecting roughly 70% of the U.S. population's identities.
When you talk about Florida and California and New York, these are massive targets.
The surge in demand for state and federal unemployment benefits has created a multi-billion-dollar gold rush.
This is a fraudster trying to defeat our selfie step.
Creating sci-fi-like innovations like these 3D masks used to fool staff at ID.me video security checkpoints. Each time, they failed.
It's quite sophisticated, the different types of attacks that we see.
While the masks are still evolving, thieves are using other techniques, placing stolen photos on counterfeit IDs. It's all about using real identities like yours to cash in on unemployment benefits.
And in January, we did have an attempt to file fraudulent claims in Florida to the tune of almost 1 million claims.
DEO Director Dane Eagle advised state lawmakers that thousands of imposters have been caught trying to use stolen identities to access state unemployment benefits.
We want to make sure that we have the protective measures in place.
Eagle tells News 6 ID.me was already being used for high-risk applications. Now it will be totally integrated into the proposed revamped Connect system.
I can't have the people of Florida paying billions of dollars to Nigerian princes. It just ain't going to happen.
The governor conceded security has to be ramped up to stop imposters targeting the state's unemployment system.
You have the highest rates of unemployment since the Great Depression, and you also have the largest cyber attack in American history in terms of fraud, and it's not even close.
Not even close. The security threat would prove to be bigger than expected. In June, 2 months after ID.me came online, News 6 found more than 250,000 claimants were locked out of the system, red flagged as if they were the potential thief. And that's even after clearing identity verification. Again, a well-intentioned system, but one that was keeping Floridians from desperately needed benefits.
Since January, I've been in the hospital 4 times.
When doctors diagnosed Beth Sampson with Crohn's disease earlier this year, she admits her financial independence was shattered.
I'm 52 years old. I've worked 34 years of my life, if not more. So I'm definitely not used to this.
She was the office manager for a seafood company in Merritt Island for the last 9 years, even designed the new company logo, and then that diagnosis.
It's extremely frustrating. I've racked up over $36,000 in medical bills this year.
Like so many other Floridians, she surrendered independence to unemployment benefits. But her DEO account is locked with this notation. Additional information is needed to confirm your identity.
As of this month, I haven't been able to claim anything.
Despite getting clearance via an ID.me video call back on June 7th, Beth Sampson's identity is being questioned again, freezing $1,700 in benefits.
It said that I would have to wait for response from DEO within 48 hours, and I'm still waiting.
The majority of this is because of fraud.
State Senator Linda Stewart was back in Tallahassee to meet with DEO Director Dane Eagle. Her office is getting the same feedback News 6 has been reporting for the past month. DEO accounts are unlocked, then locked again, following ID.me verification.
We have imposters trying to hit the same accounts?
A lot of them. There's thousands of them. Thousands of imposters. That is creating a critical situation.
In fact, News 6 has learned nearly 272,000 accounts, just like Beth Sampson, are locked because of potential fraud.
Well, what that does is they come to us and they go to the media, they come to our office for us to try to figure out where they are in the system.
We were able to get Beth Sampson's account unlocked, getting her $1,700 in benefits. The widespread lockout from DEO accounts was just beginning, though. 1 month later, the DEO confirmed a data security incident involving potentially fraudulent activity. A spokesperson telling News 6 information potentially exposed included Social Security numbers, bank accounts, and more. Nearly 58,000 claimant accounts were at risk for months. Federal sources saying that was most likely a conservative estimate. Then, a security precaution to help protect identities actually blocked people from their accounts. On August 14th, hundreds of people started contacting News 6 because they couldn't access their accounts anymore. What happened? Well, the DEO told us 150,000 claimants were caught in the new force reset strategy. Resetting their accounts was supposed to stop the cyber thieves. In the end, it made it more difficult for the real people to collect their benefits. The cyber threat was relentless. Putting the problem into perspective, the agency revealed roughly 70% of unemployment claims filed in July alone, were actually filed by imposters and intercepted by the DEO Fraud Division. And it didn't stop with the unemployed. We discovered a local business targeted too.
They are not people that we even know of.
Michelle Brown is a small business owner under siege.
These individuals are robbing us blind, in the daylight.
A victim of what federal investigators believe is an elaborate scheme to steal state unemployment benefits with a click of a button on the DEO website.
They're all filing against We Hire LLC, which we know 100% is not correct.
Michelle and William Brown operate Express Employment Professionals, a Daytona-based jobs placement franchise. There are 800 of these franchises operating in the United States, but only the Browns franchise is licensed and registered under the name We Hire LLC.
How many employees do you have?
Currently, we have 1.
That's the key to this story. Other than the receptionist, Michelle and Bill Brown run the company. Yet We Hire LLC has received not 1, but more than 20 applications for unemployment benefits.
I find it very unusual that 22 people have filed unemployment at the same company that never worked there.
Orlando Special Agent in Charge, Caroline O'Brien Buster.
It's not random.
News 6 has confirmed that out of the 22 original unemployment applicants, 11 live in the same zip code.
The geographic area is it's all the same.
Orlando Secret Service agents have tracked the names to 3 zip codes, 2 in Volusia, 1 in Brevard County.
I believe that their identities have been stolen, and they don't know that.
That leaves Michelle Brown in an expensive dilemma.
My premiums are going up based on claims that are not accurate.
And while fraud attacks persist, agencies are trying to get ahead of it. Something to note here, a one-page alert to report identity theft. Take a look. The Department of Justice Unemployment Insurance Fraud Task Force teamed up with the Secret Service and other key federal agencies to issue this source, providing the public with links to the FTC, IRS, and the Department of Labor. That link takes you to an unemployment fraud site for all 50 states, including Florida's Department of Economic Opportunity. Once you file a fraud report to the DEO, it goes directly to an investigator. Now, that resource can be found on our website. Just go to clickorlando.com/makeendsmeet. But it doesn't stop there. News 6 launched 2 new ways to reach the people facing unemployment problems. A text service allowing us to connect to your numbers and issue immediate updates. Also, we debuted a Make Ends Meet newsletter that sends new links and updates right to your inbox. We continue to reach more and more people through the texts and newsletters. And if you're watching and need help, go to clickorlando.com for the newsletter or text the words Make Ends Meet to the number on your screen. In a moment, we'll hear from one of the people who reached out to us by text, vented a lot, then got results. We took her concerns straight to lawmakers. What more needs to be done? The progress during the pandemic, coming up next. When we started putting this Make Ends Meet special report together to look back at nearly, can you imagine, 2 years of stories, we began to wonder if the system had really improved. Were Floridians less frustrated? What I learned in just the past week is that the answer appears to be not everyone. A single mom reached out to me from Fort Myers, and what she said caught me by surprise because she could have said the same thing when the DEO pandemic issues started a year and a half ago.
There should be no reason why day after day we're calling the DEO. You go through all the prompts and all they do is, sorry, nobody can take your call right now. Click.
She's a single mom, makeup artist, and former conference sales professional with a message to Tallahassee.
I worked hard and paid into the system and taxes here in Florida. And now I'm being told, it's like a slap in the face, that you're also not going to get your benefits. You can't talk to anybody from the DEO. Nobody will return your calls. Nobody will email you. And you can just be sat in the dark.
Simply put, she's fed up with the DEO.
The system is just broken and there's nobody to fix it.
Sarah Marie asked we not use her last name, but the longtime Fort Myers resident wants to go public with her personal fight. She's filed a lawsuit against the DEO because she's been waiting since February for thousands in unemployment benefits. Promised, but never paid.
DEO is continuing to say, oh, this one slipped through the cracks. It's like, well, no, there is a fundamental problem with the entire system.
Now, she says she's followed Make Ends Meet's legacy of success stories, and she decided it was time to contact us.
You guys are very helpful, and I've seen you work miracles for so many other people. But it really is like a Band-Aid. I'm sure they'll write me a check and I'll take the check whenever that comes that I'm owed. But something is very wrong and it's infuriating.
Sarah says she's on various mom groups on social media, all sharing tales of DEO missteps and frustrations.
What's the common denominator?
One of the biggest frustrations is not even being able to talk to somebody about it. How can we be just left in the dark and we're not even getting any answers, just being directed to a help desk site that does not even give the option to say, I'm not getting my benefits.
How's that for venting? Sarah Marie sent a text to let us know $5,700 in benefits has been deposited in her bank account, with more to come. The experience of the last 21 months has helped everyone in Tallahassee understand the system was never designed to handle the demand, the fraud, and of course all those glitches. Well, I decided to talk to lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. I needed to find out if we learned anything from all the stories we've reported and followed week after week.
I'm Senator Linda Stewart, District 13, mostly Orange County.
I'm State Representative David Smith, House District 28, which is the majority of Seminole County.
Representative Smith, how frustrating has this been for your office?
It certainly has been frustrating, but I'll tell you, it's not by a lack of trying and help from DEO. We've been able to help thousands of people. And boy, I tell you, a lot of constituents that I help were treated poorly by the technology and the customer service and the follow-up I've done with DEO and Dane Eagle, former House member with me, and it's been very open and willing to meet and provide progress updates. And I have the utmost confidence that they're going to fix the computer problems, the software issues, and the customer service issues.
Well, I too have worked with Secretary Eagle, and he's been always gracious. I would make bi-weekly trips to Tallahassee, give him our problem children, try to get him to help us out, and he's been great. Unfortunately, we have thousands of problem children, not just 12 or 20. So what we need to do, and what we hoped would happen, was to increase the benefits, decrease the red tape, and also fix the broken system. And we haven't gotten there yet.
Can we assure the people watching across the state tonight that we will be able to get their benefits to them? Go ahead,
Our
Senator.
goal is to make sure that we get everybody back into a normalcy that they are used to. And to do that, we need to make sure we get their payments to them so that they can live life the way they were used to living it.
Representative Smith?
Yeah, I'm absolutely confident that everybody who is owed money from the state of Florida is going to get that money. We're going to put a new system in place so we don't have these problems again.
What can we do going forward into the new year to improve it? Representative Smith, is it the computers? Is it the software? Are we understaffed? What is it?
The cornerstone of the problem, I guess, was the lack of the computing power in the Connect system. And it was never intended to handle a global pandemic that put millions of Floridians out of work. And I think they all seemed to log on to get their benefits at the same time, caused the system to crash. And then customer service, the call center or lack of call center support and the ability somebody could be on hold. It was just shameful. They'd be on hold for 3 hours and then finally connect and then get hung up on.
Incrementally, little improvements have been made based on conversations with people that are frustrated. But I think that we do need a new system, and we just can't wait much longer, because we may find ourselves in this situation again, which I hope not, because this is pretty bad. It has hit everybody very hard in Florida.
Let's end this on a good note. The
Okay.
DEO is working hard, and I know that. But what's compelling about this story and what we've been doing for the past 2 years is that they needed to reach out to us to bridge the gap. Representative Smith, Senator Linda Stewart, News 6, Make Ends Meet. The three of us alone are helping hundreds and hundreds of people. What can we do going forward to bridge the gap, to open up the channels so every Floridian that needs help can get it? Representative Smith, your thoughts on that?
We need a new system, not a fixed one, a brand new system. And we got 49 other states we can look at that did it better than Florida. And we can plan for another downturn. What I want to see is a greater weekly payout and more weeks of unemployment so we can cushion that blow for the next downturn that could hit Florida. But we're working on it, and we're about to head into the 2022 legislative session where I believe we will take action to make this a reality.
You agree, Senator?
I'm up there in the hopeful optimistic category.
Good, good. I think we all are. So let's leave it on that note. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all the work you do for your constituents and the people of Florida. It was a pleasure doing this with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So here's a closer look at some of the steps the DEO is taking to build a, let's call it, user-friendly, glitch-free system. Governor DeSantis approved a budget pumping $92 million in state and federal funds into the DEO to help modernize the system and make it easier for people to apply for benefits. The agency telling me those funds have also helped hire hundreds of additional staff members to assist with calls and questions. In March 2020, there were 477 full-time employees in the Reemployment Assistance Program, October 2021, that number climbed 93% to 922 workers in the same program. Meantime, the state also approved legislation establishing an Office of Economic Accountability and Transparency within the department. It also puts a blueprint into law mandating the DEO implements a modular system through cloud services and provide reports on the status of the system to legislatures. So, with all those plans in place, we wanted to hear from the DEO to understand how many unemployment issues are still unresolved. Frankly, it's a two-part equation. 3.5 million claim issues are still being reviewed, thousands of weeks still unpaid. I asked the DEO's Deputy Secretary of Workforce Services to sort it all out for us.
Of those 3.5 million issues, we have over 200,000 that are holding payment. And so what that means is there's additional information we need in order to release the payment to that individual. So that's not 200,000 individuals, that's just 200,000 issues that have to be worked by our team.
Any timeline for us? Do you think we could be done by the end of this year, early into next year?
I don't have a hard timeline for you, but what I can tell you is we continue to look for ways to streamline the process, make it easier for claimants to provide us information, and make it easier for us to process that claim much faster.
What's underway right now to improve the system going into 2022 and beyond?
Back in July, we kicked off a 2-year project that includes actually 20 different projects to improve everything from the infrastructure of the system to move it into a cloud-based structure that will improve scalability, allow it to be much more responsive to folks. It also includes improvements to data and analytics relating to the system, allowing us to react more in real time. And then it also includes the user interface enhancements. So we'll actually make the user interface much more intuitive and easier for folks to provide the information that we need to work a claim.
Sounds like it'll be more user-friendly, fair to say?
That's definitely fair. It will be more user-friendly, both from the claimant side, but also from the back end. So our team will actually be able to take the information that's gathered through the system and work through a claim much more quickly because everything will be presented to them in a more seamless format. So I think it'll be much more user-friendly on the front end and on the back end.
Can we assure the people that they should not give up? If they're eligible, they will get the benefits they deserve?
If individuals are eligible for benefits, they will absolutely receive those benefits. So our team is dedicated. They're here working and trying to find every way they can to get folks who are eligible their benefits as quickly as possible.
Okay, one thing we haven't touched on that created some of the most, I have to say it, the most emotional moments during all of this is when people reached out to each other. They saw our stories and felt so compelled, they donated hundreds of dollars to those in need. The outpouring of help and some final thoughts coming up next. One of the very unique aspects of the Make Ends Meet effort was strangers helping strangers in a time of need. When stimulus checks first went out in 2020, dozens of News 6 viewers responded to our stories, inspired to donate their own money to help others. Frankly, it was unexpected, a tribute to the people of Florida. As a result, News 6 teamed up with a local bank, opened an account, and let our viewers choose who they wanted their money to go to. Take a look at what happened next.
We thought, why not pass it on? Because Jessica needs it a lot more than we do.
She needed help, and you could tell by looking at her.
I was taken so aback, and thank God that there are people like them.
We were moved by your story to a point where this was an easy decision.
It's just so heartwarming that people are so genuine and giving.
And I'm gonna cry, and I won't apologize for that. We are giving you $750 to get you through this time. It'll help a lot.
It was just like such a godsend and such a blessing.
We felt it in our hearts that this is real, this is genuine.
So grateful that there's all these people willing to help. They don't even know me or my children at all.
Me and my wife would like to make a $5,000 donation to you.
That's awesome. It's just incredible.
I'm gonna give you $5,000.
No.
We really appreciate it. We will not forget it, and we will definitely pay it forward when we can.
Once I get back on my feet and working, I want to pay it forward.
Coming together as human beings, fulfilling needs for each other. And hopefully, after this is all over with, that part of it will continue. Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it? The response, incredible. So far, more than $50,000 have been donated to people in need. People helping people in an unprecedented time in our lives. Think about it. People put their pride aside to ask for help. The way our community, the state, and our station listened and responded is testament to our mission to get results. I've spent nearly 2 years committed to one story, hundreds of men and women all helping me deliver a message that needed to be told again and again. It's been worth it. And if there are changes, as the lawmakers have promised, then it means we all made a difference. The pandemic, first and foremost, was about our health, and it still is. But when people have no money to live their lives, then it's a whole different story. This is a story that needed to be told, and we think we've told it like no other newsroom in this country. That's because of you, not us. You saw us as a voice of the people. You shared your lives, and then truly let us know what it feels like to feel forgotten. We will continue to fight for you. In the coming year, we'll continue to press lawmakers for change. Florida deserves a new system, and we will let you know what happens in Tallahassee every step of the way. We will also continue to respond to your email and text and phone calls. Together, we've created a powerful voice, and we don't want anyone to feel like they can't get answers they deserve. And we'll continue to provide you with information through our website, our texts, and our newsletter. We've created a community, and we know you need all those updates. We've come too far to stop now. Make Ends Meet now means something to you, to us, and our state leaders. The future will bring more challenges, and together, I think we'll be ready. As I always like to say, let's get results together.